Good morning, YouTube. We're going on the Gordon River cruise this morning. We're at Strawn, and we got to get there by 8:30, and we're hoping to get some breakfast from Banjo's before we actually get on the boat. So, yeah, it's raining. It's all a bit of a rush at the moment.
We're in Strawn on the west coast of Tasmania. Today, our cruise will take us through Macquarie Harbour, out through Hell's Gates, and down the Gordon River to Heritage Landing.
This is how you start a day.
There was 4 of these. What's the 4th one?
That was delicious. Alright, so the next challenge is to find somewhere to park the car while we're on the boat. Going into the actual terminal to see if they've got parking in here. I see cars. Even if you've got to pay to park, as long as they'll take FPOS or something, or Easy Park. Mum's putting on her metaphorical roller skates. At least it's not raining at the moment.
It's kind of.
I suppose it kind of is, a little bit. Huon Pine grows for a very long time, and one of the really cool things people do is they actually use them to make timelines. So we can see that when this tree was chopped down, it was 695 years old. Sometimes they put like historical events on there to say, you know, when this important event in history happened, this is how big the tree was. The boat we're going on. You excited?
Yes.
You get some sea eagles hanging around.
Front row seats.
Doesn't really get any better than this.
I don't think there's going to be many people on this. It's going to be kind of cool.
We've got a little table. That's probably where we put our food.
What are we going to eat?
Food. The engine just started. I think we're going to be going soon.
World Heritage Cruises is a family business that has been in operation since 1896. We're cruising on board a boat called the Harbour Master, affectionately known as the Red Boat. The Grinning family were among the early settlers in Strawn. Harry Grinning and his brother ran tourist cruises up the river over 100 years ago. 5 generations on, the family are still doing it.
Up here.
So we're right up the very front of the ship at the moment. Is it a ship or a boat? Actually, it's probably just a boat. And we're off.
Yeah, what are you doing? You're a literal donut.
Now, on board today, reporter.
The water here in Strawn is very dark, and it's because of tannins which leach out of the button grass which gets into the water table. The captain just joked that makes Macquarie Harbour the world's biggest cup of tea.
Service once or twice a year. As you'd expect to win a salt, because on a day like this, you're looking just over 8 hours.
We're on up.
Hell's Gate is the name given to the mouth of Macquarie Harbour.
It's around 60 odd metres across, with water depth of about 23.5 metres in the gap.
It's a shallow and dangerous channel of water, but that's not why it got its name. The convicts being brought into the penal settlement on Sarah Island, which we'll be seeing soon, considered this place hell on earth. So from their perspective, this was the gateway into hell. 2 lighthouses help warn of the danger. Macquarie Harbour is Australia's second largest natural harbour, the largest being Victoria's Port Phillip Bay.
This house behind me was originally one of the head pilot's house.
Harry had a turn on the bridge.
Little engines. You're at about 18 on course. There we go, 185. No. Fish farms. Look at me. Right.
Is it like when they put it on, suddenly realise that how can they? I've got a massive muffin.
This fish farm contains salmon. They feed them by spraying the food in big water jets. These nylon nets are weighted with 5 tonnes. They've got about 42,000 fish.
There's been so much to see, I've only just got my book out.
So, I was a bit concerned that I would not like this river cruise, but to be honest, it's way better than I thought it'd actually be. It's like really awesome. And these seats are really good. Like over there. They're just really good. And I'm really glad that we got to go on this. And meeting the captain was amazing. I bet you rarely get to meet the captain on your river cruises.
So we've arrived at Sarah Island, which is known as the harshest penal colony in Australia. And we're going to leave the boat and go have a wander on the island. Should be pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't look like hell, but then I'm here as a tourist, not as a convict. We're going to learn some history.
Oops!
Sarah Island was first established as a penal colony in 1821. The convicts worked under harsh conditions, felling Huon Pine for building boats. These were the worst of convicts, repeat offenders and escapees from other facilities. Among those to escape Sarah Island was gentleman bushranger Matthew Brady. You can learn more about him in our Brady's Lookout video. The first commandant of Sarah Island was Lieutenant John Cuthbertson. He was hated by the convicts. He believed in harsh conditions. In fact, he drowned to death trying to save a boat while the convicts smiled and waved, refusing his pleas for help.
The original intent of this penal settlement was to be labour to cut down and transport the Huon Pine to Hobart. But it was actually very difficult to get out there, so they ended up using that wood to build ships. This is where the military barracks were situated. The guards who were assigned here weren't allowed to drink on the job, but they were allowed to bring their wives and kids with them.
One of the biggest problems faced by this settlement was food shortage. They couldn't produce their own food here, so it all had to be brought in by sea. It got pretty dicey at times. They were eventually able to grow some vegetables, but it was too cold and wet for wheat. 131 ships were constructed at the shipyards. This building was called the New Penitentiary, but it was hardly used due to changing conditions in the settlement. Commandant Briggs had a different approach. The convicts were treated less harshly and given more freedoms. In return for their hard work, they were educated. So Sarah Island, once considered hell on earth, became something of a success story for the rehabilitation of convicts. It's a nice happy ending to the story. Sadly, the lessons of Sarah Island were forgotten when it came to Port Arthur. The separate prison was so harsh, they had to build an asylum to care for the inmates once they were released. The tour guides on this island are fantastic. They weave the history of this island into a wonderful narrative.
We're off. That's our captain saying farewell if anybody's still on the island. So basically he said if you don't get back in time, you'll have to stay until 10:30 tomorrow morning when he comes back, and you'll have to make sure you've got a camera with you or your phone, and then you can prove to him if there's any ghosts on the island. And then obviously if you can prove if there's ghosts on the island, you have to split the profits with the crew. I think we're all back on. It's pretty wet. So I'm taking over the vlogging at the moment. Adam's phone doesn't like the rain. It sometimes gets like water in where the headphones go. Yes, we know we're going. And so what it does is it thinks there's headphones and it won't record sound. It's really weird.
That was here. That was Centre Island. He tries to sat in the hands of those sadistic guards over the years, but how people such as David Hoyt changed the whole idea and outcome of the settlement. Down towards the Gordon River will serve our lunch as we go upstream and over properly. Very quickly we'll be increasing speed quite abruptly, so just be aware.
I'm so hungry.
Down there in Tassie.
Enjoy.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I know how kids don't like
It's a World Heritage area, they're actually pretty unique, pretty special.
there is a bit of vegetarian
One of the 10
there,
criteria.
but
So if I was you, I'd be outside. Brave the rain, guys. You're all Tasmanians.
Yeah, they're honking at each other. Hi guys.
I really like this chicken.
Yeah, they're honking at each other.
Steeping
Chocolate
down
fudge.
to a gorge-like formation. Coincidentally, this is called the first. This is not 500 years for each heartbeat per diameter.
The Gordon River is famous for its amazing reflections. On a really good day, it can be hard to tell the trees apart from their reflection. But today's weather conditions weren't suitable for those reflections, sadly. But I thought the muted misty greys had a beauty all their own.
Because Tasmania, in spring, it rains. So he said, yeah, all Tasmanians anyway, go out and enjoy the views. And here we are.
When I was a teenager, my parents took us on a Gordon River cruise. We saw some great reflections on that day.
Took them up to the 23-mile mark up to the ramp and dock was flooding the thing.
to get off at Heritage Landing, which is an elevated boardwalk through the rainforest. Sounds cool. One thing I'm noticing here on the west coast, the bush is a lot more colourful than I realised. There's all these little coloured flowers we saw yellow and red ones on the way down to Strawn yesterday. It's not all just green.
They're from our little freshwater burry.
Huon pine has a natural oil that prevents it from rotting. The chemical methyl eugenol seals the timber, making it impervious to rot. So that's why it was so valuable for shipbuilding. They are slow-growing and long-lived. Some living examples are over 2,000 years old. That means there are Huon pines alive today that were alive when Jesus walked the earth.
You know, down that bottom track?
It's currently illegal to cut down a living Huon pine.
Now, would on the behalf of the grindings of pine, keep it in the tin.
This is a type of citrus plant. I had something interesting to say about it, but my microphone didn't pick it up because my phone seals itself up when it gets wet. This is celery top pine. The green bits that look like leaves are not actually leaves at all. They're flattened stems. The real leaves are small papery bits. You have to look really close to see. This is a myrtle tree behind me. It's actually an Antarctic species. They say that the west coast of Tasmania was connected to Antarctica, and Tasmania broke away. So this area gives a good indication of what vegetation may have once grown on Antarctica. Honestly, I had lots of interesting things to say, but I can't make it out in the footage. We'll never know what they were. Huon pine send out shoots to grow new trees. This one here is about 100 years old. It has roots that go all the way over here. They basically create clones of themselves, new trees that are genetically identical.
We're back, and the cruise is finished. We just need to wait for the boat to actually get up.
But there was one last surprise. We didn't disembark at the same place. We found ourselves at a Huon Pine Mill Museum. The soaring machine was really cool.
Well, we've had a great time on the river cruise. Now we're going to find ourselves some hot chocolate or Milo and head back to the hotel to dry out and warm up with a good book.
We're back. So Linda just had a good idea. She'll make a booking at the little restaurant down the road so we can have some tea tonight. But they're full, 100% full all night. Which leaves us going to the same pizza place we went last night, or going to the same pizza place. There is apparently another little cafe up the road somewhere, but then that's pizza and pasta as well. So it may just be at Strawn you have pizza for tea. Because there's another hotel, but they said they're not serving meals. And the restaurant here at the hotel, they're not serving meals. You can see why the other restaurant is booked out, because it's kind of the only place in town you can get food. Turns out that even though they've got no room in the inn tonight, they still do takeaway, and they've got like full-on pub meals that you can take away, which is really cool. So that's what we're going to go do tonight. So we'll ring up, we'll place our order, and Linda will run down, grab the food, bring it back here, and we can sit around the table as a family in our hotel room and enjoy it. Should be good.
Can we get 2 of the chicken parmesanas? Yeah.
There's a beautiful palmy. But we've just realised the restaurant didn't give us any cutlery, and, well, the hotel doesn't have any, because it's not the kind of thing they tend to provide. So we'll eat it like a dog. Nom 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 nom. Okay, so I'm going to eat chicken palmy and salad with a teaspoon, because that's what we can do. Palmy.
Oh, hot!
Mum's got crumbed whiting, and Chloe's got spaghetti bolognese, and Harry's doing a chicken in pyjamas, just like me. I do like the idea of takeaway pub meals. It's kind of a new concept since COVID-19. But they do need to figure out this cutlery situation. That's a deceptively big meal coming in that little cardboard container. Very well fed.
What's been your favourite thing so far, Harry? What's been your favourite thing so far, Adam?
I think the cruise today's got to be the highlight.
Yeah.
The Gordon River, it was awesome.
Even with the rain.
Oh yeah, even with the rain.
Yep.
Hey, that never stopped us. But yeah, the shore tours, the Sarah Island and the
Rainforest.
Heritage Landing, they were
Yep.
amazing. Loved it.
What about you, Chloe? What's been your favourite thing?
Also
The cruise. And cheese and bickies.
Because we haven't been to Cradle Mountain yet,
Yeah.
but that's also going to be pretty amazing.
I tell you what, we needed more than 2 days, but anyway. We're doing what we can.
Yeah.
And Harry's favourite thing has been
Playing on his tablet.
playing on his tablet.
And getting his DVD.
And my favourite thing has been not being at work.